Welcome to That Guy Talks Movies. On this quick video, I want to talk about trailers, a couple of trailers that I've seen recently, and my thoughts on these. They're remakes, basically, regurgitations, reestablishing franchises, whatever they're doing. But there's a few I wanted to point out and I want to talk about really quick on this video. So let's get into it. If you're new to the channel and you haven't subscribed yet, now will be the time to go ahead and say, hey, I kind of like this guy so far. Hit that subscribe button. And to my, loyal followers, people who actually stick with this channel and have given me room to make my mistakes and take time off and come back. I always appreciate you people very, very much. And the fact that you like and comment, and I like hearing from you, that means a lot to me. So let's get into this right now. It's not going to be long. I just want to talk about a couple of trailers. First, oh my God, I dread having to even talk about it. And I dread when I first heard about it, that they were doing this, I was kind of just like, oh, really? Then I saw the trailer for it. This film, The Crow. Classic movie. If you've not seen this, I beg you, I implore you, I encourage you to see the original Crow, Brandon Lee, Alex Proyas directing. They're rebooting this thing up again. And I saw the trailer and I was like, okay, right away, you can see where they're going with this. It's more of the violence. It's going to be sharper, more HD, cleaner looking. It's going to be contemporary for the contemporary kids to enjoy. And that's the biggest fucking mistake they're making so far, because the original Crow, cult classic, the myth, the mythology, the stuff surrounding that film, the tragic death of Brandon Lee at 28 when shooting this film, the look of that film, the goth neo-noir thing, the whole feel, the whole aesthetic, the grit, the grain, the rain, the whole thing, the soundtrack with The Cure, Stone Temple Pilots, and Nine Inch Nails, it all worked as this goth thriller neo-noir. Did I say that already? I did, but it just worked. It was dark and had this thing about it that still holds up to this day. And they're doing it and they're going to make it clean. They're going to make it more whatever. And this guy who's playing Eric Draven does not look, I've heard him, that they've compared him to looking like the Joker from, Suicide Squad, whatever. Or it just doesn't look right. From a comic book perspective, I'll tell you right now, I didn't read the comics, the Crow comic. So I'm not going to do that whole comparison thing. You guys know I usually don't. But just off of my love for this film, this thing does not look right. And who do we have? Who do we have as the actual script? The screenwriter is Zach Baylin, who did King Richard. He did Gran Turismo, and he did Bob Marley One Love, the recent biopic, which my thoughts on that. If you haven't seen that one, if you haven't seen my review on that, go ahead and check the link. I'll put it somewhere here and you guys can go check that out. But, again, it's one of those situations where if you're going to reboot something, you're going to do something that iconic, that level of a film, why don't you just get really great screenwriters and a great director and at least try to stay true to what made the first one? You're not going to be able to do it, but at least attempt to say, look, we need to kind of film this. Like when I'll give you a quick example and then we'll move on past The Crow, but the Batman movie, that looked like a David Fincher-esque aesthetic, right? If you look at that, there's a lot of David Fincher, a lot of Seven was ripped off in that movie, but it had the look, it had the grain, it had the grit. They knew what they were going for with that, and it worked. Somebody should have thought about that when they put this together, and clearly they haven't. So we'll see what happens. They've got Danny Houston, who I love Danny Houston, but he's playing the bad guy in this, which was originally played by what's his name, Michael Wincott, and it just doesn't seem right because Danny Houston does a great job of being the elegant, smooth. He's kind of like a corporate baddie. Like you can see him being the head of a pharmaceutical company and being corrupt and a degenerate. But Michael Wincott's bad guy in the original Crow this year was exactly what you thought. It was like this creepy vampire dude that was like sleeping with his sister and like killing people. And he was kind of like really odd and he was dark and he was a criminal. You could tell he was a criminal and a drug user. It just made sense. This is not going to make any sense. I'm not going to be happy about this. I will share some good news though. 30th anniversary for The Crow coming up. And I believe in May, we're going to get a 4K release of this. There hasn't been one. So we're getting a 4K release. So I'm looking forward to that. And I'll probably talk about it on this channel. Let's just move on to the next one. Okay, so I saw the trailer for the new Alien movie. The Alien franchise continues on, the Ridley Scott classic. This is whatever, 9th, 10th film in the franchise, whatever it is. Alien Romulus. I saw the trailer for this, and let me give you my trailer reaction. That's my reaction. I've seen people. I'm not going to name names, but I've seen a couple of the trailer reaction videos of people for Alien Romulus who act like this is going to be a good movie and actually said the words, "This looks like it's going to be good." I'm sorry, I didn't see a single thing in that trailer that made me go, "Holy shit!" Because first of all, let's be real. First of all, I'm a huge Alien fan. The original Alien, Ridley Scott, 1979. Aliens, James Cameron, 86, I believe that was. Huge fan. Alien 3, even, the most despised in the franchise, David Fincher's first feature film, which got panned. And I have a thing for that, you know. What's his name is that? It was that whole prison thing, and it was kind of strange. It wasn't a great story, but it wasn't terrible. I'm a fan of Prometheus, and I was a fan of Alien Covenant, and I'm waiting to see what happens at the end of Alien Covenant. You have David, you know, who played it like he was Walter. He killed Walter, and he's got the embryos or whatever and the alien stuff, and he's on the ship, and he puts them in stasis, whatever, and you're waiting to see where this is going to go. So now we're getting Alien Romulus, which the storyline is pretty much the same storyline for, you know, Prometheus, Covenant. Let's just be real. The storyline has remained pretty much the same for most of the movies, right? Like, it's usually something, people on a ship are drawn to a signal. It's an SOS usually of some kind, or it's something. They're drawn to that signal. They go to that signal. They go to investigate. Somebody gets, sick and winds up getting an alien or something inside them. Someone gets sick. They want to bring that person back to the ship. One person usually protests and says, "Oh, that's probably not a good idea," and it goes against protocols. Somehow the person is still led on the ship, and then all hell breaks loose and aliens fucking ravish everybody, and one person survives. That's pretty much been the basic storyline. It's just been filmed in such brilliant ways, and it's always looked pretty cool, and it's one of the spookiest creatures ever in cinematic history. So the Alien movies kind of work. Not all of them, but for the most part, they do. This, I haven't seen anything in the trailer that makes me go, "Wow, I can't wait to see what happens here." And it's pretty much the same thing. There's going to be a ship, there's going to be new people on a ship, and they're going to go, and they're going to get a signal, and they're going to go, and they're going to explore it, and it's going to be blah, 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 whatever. Anyway, so Alien Romulus, I am not looking forward to. I saw the trailer. It did nothing for me. I'm not sure how anyone saw that and thought it looked brilliant, because I don't get it. We'll see what happens with that one. Okay, on to the next one, as Jay-Z would say. This one I didn't see a trailer for, but it's more about news, right? It's more about like what's happening. Heat. Classic. Michael Mann. Masterpiece. De Niro, Pacino. They're doing Heat 2. Michael Mann's doing it. So there was a book, Heat 2. So to be fair, when I found out about this, I did not know about the Heat 2 book. So I actually ordered it, and I'm actually going to read it. I'm going to read the Heat 2. I'm going to read that before this movie gets made and I see the movie. So I'm just curious to see what they're doing here. I just don't understand it. They're all dead. Except for Chris, right? Chris is not dead. And obviously, Pacino's not dead. But my point is, what are they going to do? Apparently, they're doing a prequel. They're doing like the backstory to Neil and Chris and his whole crew back in the day when they were robbing things. And they were like this crew that did all this stuff before they all got, before they went down this road. We'll see what happens. Could be good. I doubt it. I think some of the casting choice right now, what's rumored is Adam Driver to be playing De Niro's character, Neil, when he was young. I believe they're looking at Austin Butler, who, it's coming off the Dune 2 thing and the Elvis thing, and he's a pretty solid actor, up and coming, doing it. I wouldn't say up and coming. He's probably arrived at this point, but he's going to be playing Val Kilmer's role, young Chris. And other than that, I don't know who's doing what. We'll see what happens with this. But I don't know. Sometimes I just wish they'd leave well enough alone. You guys have heard me say that before. Sound like a broken record. Leave certain things alone. Don't touch them. I'm telling you, I said this in another video. Don't let me find out that they're going to do a 7 part 2. And here's the funny thing about that. 7, David Mills and Somerset, Morgan Freeman's character and Brad Pitt's character, are still alive. They're still alive. You could say, hey, let's explore what happens with David Mills after he shoots John Doe, and let's see where this goes. Who knows? There could be a copycat John Doe. There could be something going on in the city. Maybe he moves. He lost his wife. that whole thing, they could, technically you could write something for that. Do I want to see them do that? Absolutely not. Hopefully they do not. But anyway, figured I'd talk really quick about these trailers. They're on my mind. I have a few other things I want to talk about, but I might just do another video on that. I've been watching Netflix, The Gentleman series, the Guy Ritchie series, which is based on the movie, sort of. I kind of like it. I got a couple other things to talk about, some films maybe coming up, and I'll get into it. But that's the end of this episode. I'm done. If you like the video, like the video. You should like the video because it really it helps the whole algorithm and it kind of keeps things going. If you know what I mean? All right. And I appreciate it if you do that. So hit the like on the way out. And again, if you haven't subscribed and you think, hey, I kind of like that guy's videos, hit that subscribe button. I will most appreciate it. And I will see you on the next That Guy Talks movies and trailers and whatever. Peace.